Hello and good morning. Well, keep in mind tonight is open house. I think it's from 6 to 8. If you know your parents are coming, make sure you give them a copy of your schedule and kind of give them a look on the map. Maybe take a picture on your way out. All right, so let's see here. Fees. If you still have fees, you can bring them up. Bell work is this right here. So look here. If the variance is 45, what's the standard deviation? Well, on that one right there, what you're going to do, very simply, is just take the square root of both sides. So when you do the square root, this cancels. So you get the standard deviation, which is represented by that variable, is equal to whatever the square root of 45 is. So you take your calculator and you press square root of 45, and you get 6.7. By the same token, if they give you the standard deviation, like this one, and you want the variance, all you do is square both sides. So the variance, which is represented by that variable, is equal to 26 times 26. So that's 676. Okay? So if you want to go from variance, you take the square root. If you want to go from standard deviation, you square it. All right, let's go on. Find the variance and standard deviation. Well, look at the board. You got to find the average. So 8 and 8 is 16, plus this 4 makes 20. This is 11 and 8, or 7 rather, makes 18. So I get 38. Divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And even though this number repeats, you still have to count each number, okay? So you're going to take 38 divided by 6. And when you do that, I get 6.3. Okay? Now, for our purposes in class, I'm just going to leave it as 6. So the average is 6. And I'm pretty sure they use that variable there. Okay? So now you got to subtract each number. So you got to take 4 minus 6. When you do that, you're going to get a negative 2, a negative 1, 0, a positive 1, a positive 2. And then you got to square all of these. And again, I'm just following the steps on the board. When you square these, you get 4, 1, 0, 1, 4, 4. After you square them all, then you take the total, divide it, and I believe that's going to give you the variance. So you're going to take the total, 4, 8, 12, 13, 14. So you take the total, divide it by 6, and that's going to give you your variance. So it's going to be 14 divided by 6. When you do that, I get 2.3. And therefore, the standard deviation would be the square root of 2.3. 1.5. Okay, so I got the variance and the standard deviation. Okay, there we go. And just follow the directions on the board. Okay, if you didn't quite see it, there it is. All right, let's keep moving. We're going to watch a video on z-score, and then you're going to have to finish up page 32. All right, let's turn our attention now to college algebra. Okay, so first of all, open house. If you have math fees, today's the last day, I'm going to collect that. Okay, make sure fourth period I get that sign-out sheet. What is not a monomial? Well, you can't have a variable on the bottom. You can't have a negative exponent, and that goes hand in hand with that one. And you can't have something with a fractional exponent, like 1/2, because that gives you the square root or some kind of a root. Rationalize the denominator. You're going to multiply top and bottom to get rid of this one. So that's going to give you 5 square root of 5 over the square root of 25, which gives you 5 square root of 5 over 5, and then this cancels. This one right here is a binomial, so to work that one, you got to multiply by the square root of 5 minus 2. And then you got to do FOIL on this. Okay? This one you got to distribute the negative, then combine like terms. This one is FOIL. When they're right next to each other with no sign in between, you have to use FOIL. This one right here is the cubed root, and here's the formula. You need to try to memorize that. Okay, so this is your u, all of this, the first part. This is your v, the second part. And then you just plug it in. So it's u squared, so it's going to be 3x quantity squared plus 2 times uv, 3x plus 2y, and then plus v squared, which is 2y quantity squared. And then you simplify that, it's going to be 9x squared. There's a chart on the page of 28 on the bottom. I want you to copy that chart down. So on today's work, when you get one like this, like the cube root, you got to use the formula. Now technically you really don't. I mean, you could do 3x plus 2y times 3x plus 2y times 3x plus 2y. You could do this if you have time. You want to do FOIL. And whatever you get here, then you got to multiply by this back part. But it's much easier if you have the formula. Today's work is right here. If you get stuck, check your answer, work backwards. And I think that's going to do it for today. So I'll see you guys in class.